Yeah. So if I act wrongly in the evening, when everyone is in the room, and he will lock the door and he starts beating me, slapping me.
Wow.
And it continues for some time. So one day when I wake up in the morning, I was having some problem in my ear. So my mother informed my dad that we should take me to. So both of them to go to a hospital with me.
Go ahead.
Kwalibuyera. To check my hearing. So the nurses, they put hot water in my ear, and dirty things came out. Yeah. So as time goes on, I can hear somehow, and sometimes on and off. Yeah.
How does he feel knowing that he was not born deaf, but now he cannot hear? How does he feel as an educated person, first of all?
I feel sad.
What kind of reaction do people give him when they see him? We grew up with him, we went to primary school with him, now he cannot hear.
Some people don't know I'm deaf. So whenever they meet me, they'll try to interact with me, and they find out I have hearing problem or hard of hearing, then they start distinguishing themselves from it.
I see. In terms of corporal punishment for children, I mean, that's what a lot of parents do. What would he say? Some parents will slap their children, beat them, kick them in the groin, and knock their heads and all of that. What does he say?
I think it's bad. Slapping them is bad. So I think slapping a child, as my parent did to me, and has become deaf, I think it's no good to do that to a child. So that's why I'm deaf now, and sometimes if I go to work, my boss couldn't talk to me, and when he want to talk to me, because I'm hard of hearing, or sometimes I have had difficult to hear, they don't really involve me in any conversation. So I think it's bad.
But where does he work? I mean, what work does he do? Is he using his qualification to work?
I'm a cleaner.
With an HND.
Yes.
Is it a case that he couldn't find a job with his qualification HND?
So I was looking for a job with my certificate, but because I can't hear, people find it difficult to communicate with me. So it's very difficult for them to employ me in their work. So I got this cleaning job to do.
Yeah. And I treat our listeners to go on to our Facebook page at 3FM927, so you can actually see the sign language that's happening. And that's because that's why you would experience some intermittent pauses while we're on air. We're trying to reach out to everybody because we have all strata of people listening to us on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio. I come to you now. You are the expert in the field. I asked him a question about corporal punishment, knocking the children on their heads, slapping them. Sometimes you see parents playing with their children, they hold both hands up there and all of that. What would you say?
Okay, so the way we handle the ear is very delicate. So right from childhood, the way we handle the ear could have implications. Starting from birth, you realize that mothers would usually attempt to clean their baby's ears with cotton buds and all that. That's very risky. One, because it is not sterile. So when you try to use that, you may introduce infections into the baby's ears. Then, like Fred said, when he went to the hospital, they washed his ears and then wax came out. Wax is natural. It is built by your ear. It has antifungal properties. It has antibacterial properties.
The brown thing that we try to scoop out of our
exactly
with
so.
the cotton bud. Then
Yes.
you'll be closing your eyes some way.
Yes, it's actually supposed to be there. We only take it out if it is too much and it's blocking you from hearing well.
Okay.
Yes, but it's preventing insects, ants, and all those things from getting into your ears.
Okay.
Yes,
That's the essence.
That's the essence. That's why it's sticky, so that if a cockroach or something enters into your ears by mistake, it prevents it from getting to your eardrum.
Okay.
Then it's a dead cells and oils which are produced in the ear that mix up to form the cerumen. But when it gets too much and it's blocking your hearing, then the ENTs will flush it out for you so that you can hear well. But if it is not too much, it is supposed to be there. And the reason why people would have itchy ears is because they've cleaned everything out, so their ears will continue to itch. Yeah.
So they do.
Exactly, and the feeling is nice when, but it's risky for our ears. Then
what a feeling. What about those who use the chicken feathers? Yes.
It's not just chicken feathers. Car keys, pen covers,
pen top,
broomsticks, matchsticks, all sort of things.
But why is it sweet like that?
Well, when you look at the ear canal, it has a skin part and a bony part. So we can divide our ear canals into three. The ear canal is where we've been pushing the things into.
Right.
The first two parts are skin. Then the last part is the bony part. The bony part is very sensitive. So it's the bony part that gives that nice feeling. But once you get to the nice feeling, the next step, you are destroying your eardrum if you're not careful. So it's actually a warning that you're going too far. Yeah, so your eardrum is, if you've used the earbud before, it gets to a point which is nice, and just a little beyond that one, you get this airy feeling, which is very uncomfortable.
Too deep is not sweet.
It's not sweet.
Okay.
Yes, so don't go at all. Then when it comes to the babies beating, slapping, and everything, we call that trauma. Different kinds of trauma, depending on the severity of the trauma, could destroy a particular part of the ear. So for instance, a slap, we have the eardrum. The eardrum can get perforated at different sides, either at the top, in the middle, or by the side, and that would affect how you hear. Because when sounds are coming out from outside of your body, the flesh we see outside traps all the sound, then it's converted to vibrations at the eardrum.
Okay.
Then there are three bones that carry those vibrations into another part of the ear we call the inner ear. Those vibrations cause fluids in the ear to move. Then there are hair cells that move, and then sound is generated. So the slap could cause a perforation, or the three bones, they slide like how this microphone is looking. So the energy goes up, slides down into the inner ear.
I see.
Trauma can destroy the arrangement of those three bones, and that will affect hearing.
So the Birmingham kind of slap. The very hot one, they slap you, you see stars.
Yes.
Yeah, all around you. You think you are in the sky.
And you can't find your bearing.
Yes, you can't find your bearing. You lose. You hear the sound. You see somebody's calling you from afar.
That is called tinnitus.
Tinnitus.
Yes.
Oh, there's a name for it.
There's a name for it.
Tinnitus.
Yes, ringing in the ears.
Tinnitus.
And you lose your balance because your ears also help you to keep your balance.
Okay.
So there are three rings in the inner ear that helps us to keep balance. So when you're moving forward, you're lying on your back or you're rotating. These three rings help us to keep balance. So that kind of slap topples that, we call it the vestibular system. It topples the vestibular system and it destroys your hearing as well.
Of tinnitus or tinnitus.
Tinnitus. Tinnitus.
Tinnitus.
Yes.
Well, we learned something new today. It's Father's Day on Sunday. What advice would you give fathers in raising their children, regarding their ears? Because here is Mr. Ado, a sad story indeed, right from scratch. And what would you say to parents?
Okay, so I would say to parents that hearing is very critical to human existence because of communication. So once someone loses their hearing, one of the difficulties they will experience is with communication. Yeah, so as parents, we should be very careful of our children's hearing. Right from childhood, we should be observing them. Are they responding to sound quickly? Are they delaying in responding to their own names? Do they struggle with verbal tax and all that? When we observe that, in our field, we say early identification is the key. If we catch the problem early, then we'll find a solution to it. So as parents, we should watch for these signs. A child who is dragging the feet whilst walking, someone who struggles to find the direction of sound. For instance, you call the child and they turn round and round before they are able to locate you. They are listening to loud music and they seem okay with it. You have to suspect that possibly something is not going well with the hearing. Then quickly we do an assessment to find out if the hearing is normal. If it's not, right from that stage, we put in an intervention so that it helps. Either we stabilize the hearing and prevent it from becoming worse, or if there is something else that we could do at that age, we do it quickly for the child. Then when it comes to punishments, there are other ways we could punish a child aside physically.
For example,
we call them time outs.
Okay. Naughty corner.
Yes.
And all those things.
Yes. Then you could make them positive reinforcement. The day they do the right thing, you reinforce them. Or we have natural consequence. Sometimes you allow the child to do what he's doing. You know he'll be hurt, but you are just monitoring to make sure that he doesn't get to the hurt is not too much.
Right.
For instance, he's going near the fire. You ask him stop. He's still going.
Let him touch the fire.
You let him touch it small.
Fire will burn you.
Good. He will learn next time. He will not. That's fire. Natural consequence. And so it's not always about hitting the child, but beating and hitting usually doesn't correct. It rather toughens the child and they keep on doing because they know after all, if I do it, the worst is I'll be hit.
Okay. And
that will be it. But it ends up causing physical harm to the child, different parts of the child's body, not necessarily the ear alone.
So there's usually ear, nose, and throat, ENT. That's what you professionals call it. Is there a way that a defect in your eye, your nose could affect your ear?
Okay, so we have what we call the auditory nerve and the facial nerve. The facial nerve supplies information to your face. So when you are smiling and you are making up faces and all that, your facial nerve plays a role in it. The auditory nerve also supplies information to the ear. Now these guys are brothers. They go through the same canal. So if one has a problem, it is likely to affect the other one. So for instance, if someone has a stroke, you find that one part of their face, yes, then it affects their hearing and their speech because of where these two guys are located. Okay. So brain tumors, other swells which press against the nerves could cause the two, the eyes and the ears to have problems as well. So to some extent, yes, they are related.
Ms. Ado, closing thoughts. What would you say to fathers on Father's Day in terms of advice on how to raise their children? What would you say?
Our advice is parents that if their children act wrongly, or if they are very stubborn, we should punish them in a good way, not in a bad way. For example, maybe you can use a cane to beat them small, or you can let them kneel for some time.
Okay.
Or you can warn them. Yeah, I think that would be good for them.
Does Ms. Dado think that you could have had a better life now if you were hearing?
I'm very sure that I could have had a better.
Does he feel underutilized? He has an HND. It doesn't come easy. Does he feel underutilized by society?
3FM 92.7.
Okay, I have a certificate that could have given me job, but I've been searching for job but I'm not getting. So sometimes I feel depressed and I feel like I should end it my life.
But what can he do? What can he do in terms? He has a certificate, yes, but what can he do? He's a cleaner now. What work, really?
So I can be a supervisor on a building, and those who are constructors, yes, I can work on that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. We have to go. I say, come and say one word. Come and say one word quickly. I'll give you only 1 minute. Any further delays, I'll take my time. Come and say one word. All right, it's just just one word. You have heard the conversation. Sunday is Father's Day. In 1 minute, tell us something. 1 minute, yeah.
Okay, so we
Use
should.
the microphone for me.
Okay, so we should show love to our children, especially special children. Normally, when it happens, some fathers leave. So we urge the fathers to be there because it's very stressful and emotional draining to have a special child.
Some of the mothers also run away.
Yes, but the fathers is more.
Yeah, no, the mothers run away too. When it gets to Father's Day, they say responsible, whatever. When it gets to Mother's Day, all women.
Oh no, there are exceptional fathers. Oh, there are some exceptional fathers.
Yeah, but I'm saying that when it gets to Mother's Day, they say, oh, every woman. But I
It's true.
Oh, it's true.
when it gets to Father's Day, they say responsible fathers who have been there, who have done this, who have done the discrimination. Good. Oh, anyway. Thank you for coming.
Thank you too.
And we're getting into Community Connect in a bit. But know that on the 24th of June at the Alliance Française, there's going to be a coming down of all the spirits of Africa, historical blend, spiritual one indeed. Jamaican reggae and African roots music, we call it Kuchoko. Black Rasta is leading the whole pack. Is the king of Kuchoko, straight out of Ghana to Africa and the rest of the wonderful world. 100 Ghana cities only. You get to participate, enjoy good music all across board. And tell you what, while you enjoy good music as well, there's going to be the Kuchoko Cocoa Roots Festival. So there's free cocoa for you with kuli kuli masa, vegan kebab, and what have you. Kose and everything else. If you are not there, you are in hell. I tell you what, you have to make time. 24th, Alliance Française, 7 p.m. sharp. Is it Magbanti, Vegan Pod? We are grateful that you could support us. Thanks to TV33 FM, Onya TV, Onya FM as well for supporting us. Now we'll get into our Galamsey conversation. It's 29 minutes after 9 here on 3FM 92.7. And the question I kept asking is, Galamsey, is that Ghana's Hall of Shame? Well, I think it is Ghana's Hall of Shame. Last week, we gave you excerpts of the report of Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng. Well, that's what we gave you. This week, we want to talk about how Galamsey affects our ocean. Because we all like fish. We all chew fish. We all enjoy fish. But the key conversation is that, is your fish safe with all the ongoing conversation about Galamsey? We will connect with Dr. Jemima Etonam Kasa. She's with the Fisheries Biology Department of the University of Education in Winneba. She's a fisheries scientist and a lecturer. Joins us shortly on the phone. Meanwhile, let's Stonebwoy's song Sipping, Greedy Man. Listen.
Think about the future children. Mankind wicked and wild. Destroying generational.
3FM 92.7. Urban Lifestyle Radio Station.